I got something to say. SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. PSA, I got something to say. This is a disclosure. The views expressed by the host of I Got Something to Say on social, criminal, and justice do not necessarily reflect those views of our guests. With that said, my personal view on the criminal and justice. This is my social commentary on the criminal and justice system, the state of Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the surrounding areas. You feel me?
In the middle, in the middle, in the middle, man, in the middle.
We coming to y'all, man. Coming to y'all. This is episode 18. Man.
My main man Eric with the opioid addiction.
And I want to jump right into that Amir Locke situation too. Just talk a little bit about that and how they playing that shit out, which is bullshit. Minnesota's back in the news again,
The saddest thing to me is nobody's charged in that shooting right now. But the worst part about nobody being charged right now is the officer that shot him is at home on paid leave, aka vacation.
And the saddest thing about that situation is taxpayers are paying. He's kicking it at Costco. He's chilling while this man is passed away. And what I had a hard problem understanding is why were they trying to vilify the guy who raised his gun in protection of himself, opposed to the guy who killed himself.
Whoa. Stop. This is where Ron B in the middle come in at. I watched that video over and over again. That gun came from under the cover.
It did.
However, let me use this mic for everybody.
No.
Let me use this mic. This the gun. This the barrel of the gun. This where you hold the gun at. The gun came out from under the cover like this. Down. Away from the police. The police were back here. One police officer was right here, the one that shot him. The gun's coming down in a surrendering type fashion. Like, hold on. Let me get rid of this gun and get this gun out here, show them, and get rid of it because I don't want to die. Let me point it down and away from the police because I don't want to die. He dies anyway. They shoot him anyway.
Yeah, they and it goes right back to the prior conversation that we had about Dante Wright and his situation, fear, because the basis of this no knock warrant or the basis of what they're doing with that is it's supposed to be a public safety issue, right? But a no knock warrant allows them to enter into the public and place everybody, even the person they're supposedly coming to get, make them safe because they're saying that they have the ability to, startle you. So that's the rationale. That's why they utilize them.
The no knock warrant is not effective at all.
Nothing.
Breonna Taylor.
Nothing.
Breonna Taylor.
I'm saying nothing they do is effective. The problem is when you face the police, and we had this discussion earlier, or days prior, or months prior, or on a regular basis.
That's my phone going on.
They have police is when you look at them, the police guard the rich, and they police put a leash around the poor. That's what they're there for. So when you look at them, you try to figure this shit out, like, the police are good. No, the police are good for certain individuals, but they convince you that they're good for you. They're not good for us. You know what I'm saying? They've never been good for us in our community because we don't need them. We don't need police. Only time we need police in the community when you push shit in our community that makes the economic situation look a little bit different.
Well, Ron B in the middle say we need the police.
The police is like prison is an ideology you've been taught to believe in. Police is an ideology you've been taught to believe in.
I disagree.
How do you disagree?
Because what do you think St. Paul would be like if they didn't have no police.
That you keep falling back on that argument.
What do you think? What do you think it'll be like?
That's not an argument.
What do you think it'll be like?
It's not an argument because you can't tell me like you can eat anything you want. We only got peanut butter and jelly. When you only know the police, that's why I said, first of all, I told you it was an ideology. It's something that you've been taught to believe in, that it works.
Answer my question.
It's going to be bedlam. Of course you know that. But there's not.
So why do you not need the police if it's going to be bedlam?
Because the police because based on this capitalist system, that's the only option they've given you.
What's another option?
Option is community policing themselves. You had a civil war. You didn't need police then. What was police during the Civil War? Nowhere. Black people was on plantations.
Did you see what was happening during the Civil War?
They was killing each other. White folks was killing the white folks.
Yeah.
You didn't need no police force though. You didn't need nobody in these communities guarding the communities.
You needed somebody, obviously, because they was killing each other.
Because they were fighting the Civil War. White folks was fighting over slavery. They didn't need police. I'm just saying, white women weren't getting raped when they had a Civil War. All I'm trying to say, like, the problem with policing is that, and I reached out to several different organizations. The problem with policing is become over policing, right? Policing from its onset. Now I got a slideshow that I came across. I'm gonna give credit out to, but it breaks down the police and its etymology from start to finish, right up to right now, to why the police, how the police have come into our community, and how the police, they can never be, the roots could never be right with them because they don't be police officers. They never were put in our community police officers. They were put in our community for supervision. Just like you're on parole, supervision. It's all they're not police officers. They've been revamped to protect and serve, which we know they don't do. And only time they make sense is when you look at these white communities where they guard them. They definitely go in there to police, to what they claim that other Bible we never see in our communities. So I got this poem that Laker Hughes put together too that just sort of breaks down different things. But my situation, I'm never gonna fall into just because all you have to eat is peanut butter and jelly, I'm gonna eat peanut butter and jelly. No, I'm gonna choose something different. Even if I have to go grow my own self, even if I have to use my own mind, because you've been fed prisons work. We need a prison. What are you gonna do if you let all these people out? Why are you overcharging all these people that could be home with their family? Like you say, you did 10 years. Nobody died. No property damage. How do you justify that? This bitch is doing 24 months. She killed somebody, blew him back, and then acted it out.
You're right.
It doesn't make. It's not fair. It's not fair.
But we need the police to a certain extent.
You need the police. The only way I agree with you in that is that you need a police. The only solution they have for the capitalist system, because there's so many people that have so much fucking money, and if you don't have the police, they won't be protected. They need the police. You don't need the police.
What about? Hypothetically speaking, what about your house get broke into? What's the first thing you're gonna do?
Let's do something.
What's the first thing you're gonna do when your house get broken into?
Let's do something current because it's gonna make sense to you. The little young man or young adult who got killed over in North, football player.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Just recently.
Yeah, they just had his funeral.
Just had his funeral.
This week?
That was senseless violence.
Mm-hmm.
You would say we need the police in that matter, right? Wouldn't that be something that makes sense?
Yeah.
We need the police because this white dude, for no reason other than maybe they saying he bumped shoulders or whatever, some little minor shit, decided he wanted to kill this man. We need police. No, maybe we need to fucking regulate some of these goddamn guns that these motherfuckers got.
They tried that.
They tried that. Maybe instead of saying we need police, we need to maybe look at that.
They tried to regulate the gun laws. They not enforced them and
not enforce them. Just to stop producing so many guns and selling so many guns to so many people. So many people have guns. Back in days when I was coming up, a gun was a rarity.
Whoa. In your Bill of Rights, you had a right to bear arms.
Right.
With that being said, how you take that from people?
I'm limit the
how do you take that from people?
Limit the amount of guns being produced.
Huh?
Limit the amount of guns being produced. In turn, limit the amount of guns being.
What's that gonna do?
guns on the
with
streets.
the guns that's out here already. What's that gonna do?
I just in my thought process, you got to start somewhere. Limiting production of them keeps individuals from being able to purchase them, and maybe that cuts down some guns. Then
You got 100 million guns on the street already,
perhaps,
and you stop them
Producing.
from producing any more guns. What's that going to do?
you just said to your
you got 100 million guns out
to
here.
your argument, you have the right to you can't. It's going to be hard to.
In your Bill of Rights, you have the right.
You
to
have the
bear
right
arms.
to take that away, but you can definitely stop the mass production of guns because it's so many guns out on the streets and they're so accessible now that's a problem. And I was getting at is back when I was coming up, a gun was a rarity. Not everybody had guns. 60s, 70s, even the 80s, 90s. Where are these guns coming from? I mean, there's guns in the hood. People have guns, but the level, motherfuckers got guns that shoot 100 rounds. The level has changed. Motherfuckers might have a 32. Might have a 22. Maybe, right, revolver.
And this is all the more reason why you need police.
You don't need police in your community. You've been brought to the ideology that police work for you. If you need police in your community, then in turn, you're gonna police always come with problems. So you gotta take the good with the bad. They're gonna kill a couple of black folks.
When you get into a car accident,
No.
When you get into a car accident, you got to make a police report in order to get paid from your insurance company.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, you do.
But
if you don't make a police report, if you don't make a police report,
they don't have to be involved in the accident.
Whoa.
All you do is call them on the phone.
But if you don't make a police report,
that's what the insurance.
You cannot get paid.
That's
from
what the insurance put in a clause. That's
right.
not. It's an ideology.
I'm just showing you another reason why you need the police
in your community. I need a police when an accident occurs in my community.
to make an insurance.
I don't
claim
need them
on
to
your
supervise.
house. If somebody breaking your house, you need a police report.
Again, it's an insurance claim. You keep using insurance claims.
Yeah,
somebody else is bringing the police into my life, not me. In order for me to something I bought that should cover my house, now I have to call the police in order for them to believe that it actually occurred. Oh,
if somebody throw a rock through that window right now,
I get it.
If somebody throw a rock through that window right now, what you gonna do?
You gotta.
What you gonna do?
I'm telling you, you don't need the police. Period. You've been brought to the understanding that the police work. There's other ways for you to make insurance claim without you utilizing police, but the insurance company made it a clause in a contract that you signed.
That's right.
You didn't. They did.
Right.
So they're telling me I need the police in order to file my insurance claim. Fuck it, I ain't gonna get insurance. I don't know. Like I said, I'm telling you don't need the police because in your mind, if you do need the police, it's just like Clint Kempowder made a mistake.
You need police to keep order.
I guess.
Without the police, it would be no order. It would be bedlam, like you
Without the police, it would be no order. It would be bedlam, like you
said.
Yeah, it would be definitely because you're running a capitalist system, and if there was no police, it's gonna be riots. People gonna be running in places where they had no money to get furniture, to get stuff that they never had, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's a capitalist system. Because prior to that, they had to pay for it. Okay, they needed police. But
look what happened when George Floyd got killed.
At a certain time,
look what happened when George Floyd got killed.
At a certain time, when there is a community is going to have to be formed. Even after all this capitalist bullshit, materialist shit is taken and people have it, at a certain particular point, people are going to have to form a cooperative understanding.
Now, I agree that we need our communities to stand up and bond together and police our own communities along with the police, though.
No, they don't.
Along with the police.
So, like I said, when it comes to police and what they do and how they've been done, you've been fed the ideology. Like you've been paid that prisons are necessary, right? You've been fed that narrative too. That prisons are necessary
to a certain extent.
But it's not. Because it's not. Because nothing they've told you about prisons.
So you don't think somebody deserved to go to prison that raped the little kid? Prison. So you saying you don't think somebody need to go to prison?
Prisons, for the reason they utilize prison, it doesn't, like the reason they mass incarcerate anybody. For a person who decides they're going to rape a kid or whatever they decide to do, whatever crime you feel like is enough for a person to go to. Some people say murder is a reason why. Some people might say jaywalking is a reason why. But we decide murder is a reason why individuals should go to prison. Mm-hmm. Okay. Murder is be a reason why they incapacitate an individual because he's taking someone else's life. Or you can kill a person for taking somebody's life. That might be what the people decide. That's fine. The problem with that scenario is that in that case, because this person might be a menace, maybe prison does what it does. He's a psychopath. He kills people for no reason. Or whatever. I'm not going to argue with you about that. It might make sense.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
It might make sense in rare cases where you need to incapacitate the individual.
John Wayne Gacy.
To incapacitate the individual. But how do you get from a guy who has 2 ounces of coke, give him life in prison? That doesn't make any sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
So that's what what they utilize for you is they stress the ideology that prisons are necessary for John Wayne Gacy. I'm not gonna argue with you. He probably needs to be capacitated because the dude has lost his rabbit ass mind. Maybe you need to kill him.
Charles Manson.
Maybe you need to kill him. But what they do, as soon as we go with the Fox. As soon as you say, yeah, I want to use prison for that, what they do, they say we also about to incarcerate this dude who never hurt anybody other than selling some dope to his community, made a mistake. We're going to give him life too. You said prison was okay. We're going to do it. It's because you got to understand. This was a setup. Again, this was something that they contrived.
Hold on.
Let me finish my point because it's important because it's going to play right into your point. Mm-hmm. Prior to the 70s, they had no DEA. They contrived that. They came up with it. Prior to that, if you committed a drug offense, the FDA was involved, and there was another organization involved, but it wasn't no DEA. It was no drug enforcement agency. And then they took that because right now those are administrations. Mm-hmm. There was no drug court involved. You didn't go to court for that shit.
So it wasn't no ATF.
None of that shit. FBI, what they did is they started to criminalize it. They put it in our community and they arrested us because they came up. It was like, we're going to come with the DEA. Now we got drug enforcement from the feds that's going to start arresting these motherfuckers because we about to put drugs in their community. And we know. Because prior to that, it was FDA. It was another organization in the feds. There was no criminal conviction. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, under it was Lyndon B. Johnson, his administration, he came out with that law enforcement and the ones that gave the police officers all that military shit. He came out. That was his administration, and his administration came out with the DEA because they already had a plan in store for us. They already knew what they were about to do to us. They already knew they was about to shit that shit to our community, and they knew it was going to be a flood of individuals going.
I was telling a young lady.
It's a setup.
I was telling a young lady at work the other day. I said these drugs that being sold in our communities and stuff like that, in the urban communities and on the streets, anywhere, that we're being ostracized and sent to prison for and all this, that, we don't have the power or the money to go to these other countries where these drugs are produced and get them into this country. These drugs are here already, and we selling them. So who do you think is putting them here? How do you think they got here?
Who's benefiting from it? Not us. We not benefiting. Look at Lil Fosse. 9 times out of 10.
Look at what Kanye West said.
No, I'm saying no.
He said you go buy a pair of Jordans. He said you go buy a pair of Jordans. Or he said drug dealer go buy a pair of Jordans. Dope dealer do something, and the white man get paid off for all of that.
Right, that's true. But I was gonna say, look at Fo's situation where he was saying when he's selling dope, he wasn't making no money. He was taking something and flipping it. So he go get an ounce from me and sell it to the next man, mark it up $100. Is he a motherfucking kingpin? Is he a kingpin? But just like he said too, the feds got so petty now. Before, the Fed wouldn't even come see you for an ounce.
Right.
They wouldn't come see you for no motherfucking ounce.
Everybody that was in the feds was in there for some real shit and they was getting some real money. Now you got people with possession of a firearm, possession of half an ounce of crack cocaine.
Doing life.
What's the consequence of somebody getting caught with 10 kilos of cocaine? What consequence should they have?
Prior to that date, there was no consequence.
No.
There was no consequence.
Tell me right now what consequence
should be no consequence.
Why?
He committed no crime.
Why?
10 kilos of cocaine?
Do you know how many communities he's tearing up?
10 kilos?
Do you know how many
10 kilos? What you think?
Do you know how many communities he's tearing up?
Let me ask you a question then. What the fuck you think 10 kilos of cocaine gonna do? That ain't even a lot of coke. That's not nationwide coke. That's not community-wide coke.
You know
that
how
might be block-wide coke.
Wait.
Where the kilotons?
Wait.
Where the 50?
Wait. Let me explain to you. Let me break it down to you. I got 10 kilos of cocaine. I'm gonna sell you a brick. I'm gonna sell him a brick. I'm gonna sell him a brick. I'm gonna sell him a brick, and I'm gonna sell him a brick.
Yeah.
Right? A brick being 1 kilo, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you gonna do with that brick?
I'm gonna sell that motherfucker.
Where at?
Wherever.
Wherever, right?
Wherever.
Mostly in the urban community, right?
Perhaps. I'm selling to the white folks too.
Okay.
Equal opportunity.
Okay. But what's gonna happen?
It's going to
crime rate gonna go up.
It doesn't matter. That's not a criminal offense. They sell dope in the communities every day. Go to fucking Walgreens. Go to fucking CVS. Why is that legal? They sell it everywhere.
You're right. However,
how is that legal?
The shit that they selling at Walgreens ain't tearing up communities.
Motherfuckers addicted to Vicodins and Percocets, and they sell codeine, the drink there too. They sell everything at Walgreens.
No, they don't. They do not sell.
They do sell drink. My daughter worked there.
Yeah.
They sell codeine. That's come from.
Oh, the syrup.
Yeah, sir. That's codeine. They sell it. That's medicine. Man, come on, man. Like I said, it's just that they the biggest drug dealers. Pharmaceuticals are the biggest drug. Right now, they done wiped out drug. You can't go buy you a Coke right now and think you're gonna make some money. Motherfucker go into his motherfucking grandma medicine cabinet. They don't even call that shit no more. In medicine cabinet, he gonna get higher than the motherfucker.
What's making the crime rate go up more? Crack cocaine or
crack cocaine?
The shit that they selling in Walgreens.
Come on. Tell me the truth.
Tell me the truth.
I would say.
Tell me the truth.
I would say, looking at the crime rate in general, where it comes to
what they robbing and stealing and killing for right now.
Crack cocaine is not an issue anymore. It's like meth and it's like heroin.
No, but when it was the issue, what was the issue?
That wasn't an issue.
It was a violent drug.
It was supposedly a violent drug.
Supposedly?
Yeah.
How many people you seen get killed coming up?
Yeah,
You grew up in the 80s, just like I did.
You can't say it was the pushing of crack cocaine into our neighborhoods that caused that, and it was done purposely.
It was.
We decided to sell it.
But we decided to grab hold of it.
The fact of the matter is, I'm older than you are by a little bit, and I've seen how the factories in our communities were removed. So a lot of that crack cocaine selling came as a switch. Like a lot of individuals who were working decided to sell dope to feed their families. And it became this.
What about the ones that took it okay, you're right. And I was going to make that point a few minutes ago. You got people that sell drugs because they have to sell drugs.
Right. That's how it started off.
But then the greed kicks in.
But that comes with anything. It's America, right? But it's not right. It's not wrong. I'm not preaching. What we started off talking about is whether prisons and police are necessary. But if every time you go to it, I just step back and say police are there for the rich, to guard them, to protect them, protect their homes, their houses, their situations. If I lived in a gated community, whole different perception of police until you get a whack little motherfucker like George Zimmerman in there who's gonna police whatever. But 9 times out of 10, when you live with peers, when I lived in my $1 million houses, when I lived in my $1 million houses, when my community, other than my community not liking me, when I was in my house one night, I was in my crib, I had music playing out real loud. And I had music on the outside of my house. And I'm in Woodbury. White folks play rap music late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. The police came knocking at my door. I'm in Woodbury in a multi-million-dollar house. Police come knocking at my door. 3 of them. Got turned down the music. What? For what? Fuck wrong with you? What y'all need to do is get the fuck off my motherfucking property. That's what I told them. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Just like that, nothing. Because the police actually, it wasn't North Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. They engaged me differently, right? Mm-hmm. So it was a whole different conversation between me and the police officer. Mm-hmm. They were well trained. They knew that they were on somebody else's. You know, they understood.
They knew they were
dealing
on
with.
private property.
They understood who they was dealing with. And if I did have if it was a noise issue in Woodbury, I had the only house for 2 acres. I had a couple of neighbors around me, but whatever.
There wasn't nobody close enough to hear that music.
There was the people. They probably could, but it wasn't loud enough to. There was just people calling in a noise complaint, but it wasn't like it was outside speakers, so they had no bass in them, nothing that make people. And if they heard them, they heard very because faint music.
Yeah.
It was something that if they had their windows open, it was bothering them because they could hear it. But it wasn't like my car stereo had.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Boom.
It wasn't like it was waking them up.
Yeah,
like
so I
they
told
sleeping
the
or like that.
motherfuckers to get the if you don't get the fuck off my fucking property. Dumbass shit. Back in Woodbury.
So what happened?
Nothing. They left. What I'm getting at is a priest. So if I was a Negro, see, but prior to that, that was prior to my criminal conviction. You know what I'm saying? And then going through and I hadn't been through the system. So not having been through the system and dealing with that and that's how I addressed them. Now I've been through the system, now I'm out of the system. Now I understand now. That only reason I was able to do that is because where I lived at. That's what I mean by police guard the rich, right? And then they police the poor. Now I do the same shit over in North Minneapolis. They're gonna try to beat the shit out of me, right?
Oh yeah, they're gonna push your door in and
they're gonna figure a way. Or they're gonna even if they don't give me the night, they're gonna run I'll get pulled over.
Now when you put it to me that way, they guard the rich and police the poor. I get it. I get what you're saying. You're right, but they're still necessary.
That's an ideology been fed to you. I don't have time to get into ideology and why. See, it's entrenched in an understanding. Like somebody tell you a truth and you believe it, it becomes true. If I tell you that police is the reason, well, because we was told back in the 90s, if we don't get all these police on the ground, then these super criminals,
they're necessary.
Super predators are going to take over the nation.
Listen, they're necessary until, and we can close with this if you want to, but they're necessary until we are able to come together as a community and police our communities. Until then, we need them. I wouldn't say we need them. I would say they'll be necessary, just because the economic system has been chosen, and I'm not going to argue with that. That's why when I say all police officers are bad, I don't say I dislike them or anything like that. I just understand what they do. And that's why I say what I say about them. It's not to say that I know every police officer and every police officer is bad. That'd be ignorant of me. But I'm just saying that based on what we just came to understanding, based on the world that we live in, based on the jobs they must possess as police officers, because the reason they're here are not because we don't need them. We need them in our communities because the inequity is so perverse between our communities. Is that people are doing things like selling dope, robbing motherfuckers. They're doing shit like that because they're doing shit, stupid shit, buying stupid shit, doing stupid shit, and yeah. But then I could go one step further and say the reason police officers are necessary is not because of us, it's because of them, not because of us. Because left with our own understanding of shit, we'll be able to, getting back to a community. You know what I'm saying? Us being a community. You didn't take so many of our black males and lock them up in prison. We could be more so of a community. Do you remember back in the day, like the police, I remember growing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and all the police officers had baseball cards in the trunk of their car. They patrolled the neighborhoods. All the little kids would always run up to the police cars and ask them for some baseball cards, and they would hand them out in the communities. But with that being said, the police patrol the communities, and they got to know the people in the community. They stopped in the communities. I knew that this was Officer Brown or Officer Porter or Officer whoever, whatever their last name was. I knew these officers in my community. But now you don't know the officers in your community because all they do is drive through. They sit in the AC. They sit in the AC or they sit in the heat.
It's an issue.
They only come when it's an issue.
And then because they're so detached from the community, they can only use that they're, and the go back to the Potter situation, and I'll close on this, is that right now with everything they are being trained in certain situations. Now they got this thing. You asking me why is violence going up? They have, if you watch 37 Shots, they talk about the blue flu. Now when Justin Terrell was here, he dispelled that. He said no, violence is going up. They also got this thing now since the whole Kim Potter situation, because they have this issue with police officers, right? Police officer can't second guess himself. So if he believes there's a gun, shoot. That's what they've been trained. Mm-hmm. So it's not make sure it's a gun, make sure it's a real gun. Mm-hmm. It's like if you think that motherfucker's got a gun, shoot until he ain't moving no more. Mm-hmm. You get away. Mm-hmm. Okay? With that being so now what they're doing is talking about, because of Kim Potter's situation and all the Derek Chauvin, all the other bullshit offenders situations, is that it's a hesitation issue now. Police officers have a hesitation. They're hesitating, which can cost them their lives. Mm-hmm. And that if you watch the new TikTok, Instagram, shout out to Instagram, people who follow us on those, I show that sign. That's not photoshopped. That's something. It says, all good cops are dead cops. Police officers standing in front of it. All good cops, that's what they believe. Mm-hmm. How you say there's some good? Didn't you say there was some good cops? Mm-hmm. All good cops are dead cops. That's the sign they sitting.
Because of the blue wall.
That's what the sign that they sitting in front of. Mm-hmm. I didn't put that in front of them. I know y'all think I photoshopped you. SAF Moe, the prison lawyer. I'm good, but I didn't do that. Look at that video.
I guarantee you, ain't nobody going to jail for Amir Locke. Murder.
Yeah.
Murder. We don't call it that. Murder. It wasn't an accident. He had a gun. He had legitimate rights to have that gun. Right. They came in that man's house
and killed him.
Murdered him.
Murked him. That's the same shit they be saying in those rap videos. Come on, man. Fuck out of here, man. We need to change this community.
He was legit. He had a conceal and carry permit. That gun was registered.
Conceal.
You come in his house with a no-knock on. What do you think he's going to do?
Fuck back.
What do you think
he ain't even trying to blow y'all back. He just trying to motherfucking let y'all know
he came out with the gun down.
Yeah, he came with the piece. Y'all gonna blow him back.
I wanted to bet money. I bet my last dollar. I bet my life on it. That if they'd have waited a couple seconds, that gun would have dropped to the floor without going off. They've been
trained as police officers to de-escalate situations. That's part of their training. Mm-hmm. They've been trained when you come in there, if somebody has a pistol, certain commands you give them. Mm-hmm. But they also know too, if you wake a motherfucker up out of his sleep, he's gonna be disheveled. Mm-hmm. He's sleeping. I'm waiting for you.
Ban the no-knock warrant 100% completely.
Ban the fucking police and do something better. Get something better. And you Negroes stop selling out to them. With that said,
like, follow, share, subscribe.
We are.
Support the real. The voice of the voices.
We are.
The voice of the voices.
We are.
The voice of the voices.
Yes, sir. Let's do this.
I got something to say.
got something to say.
Back off of that. They can't say shit on that. He killed it. I thought we were gonna be saying goodbye, y'all. That was beautiful, man.
That was beautiful. I love it.
I got something to say.
We all know these events happen very rapidly, and as there's a gun emerging in your direction, you're forced to make a split-second decision about when it's a threat.
Chief Huffman, hold on. Chief Huffman, no, do not. Okay, I'm not a threat. I don't have a gun. Okay, don't treat me like I'm a threat. This is what I would call the anatomy of a cover-up. This is unacceptable. I'm sorry, it is. When I agreed to work with you on the work group, we talked about the importance of transparency and accountability. And here, what we are seeing is business as usual. And you know this, Amelia. You know this, Jacob. I don't know how you guys slept that night. I couldn't sleep at night. Tears from a mother's perspective, thinking about what happened. I saw the picture of Amir. He looks like a boy. My son is 17 years old. He has slept on his friends' couches for sleepovers. So we cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay. We cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay. We cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay. We cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay.
One more time.
I got something to say.